that are actually doing it contribute, and then we could be more successful. Basically, everybody needs to get involved because there's a community built by the community. So everything that we do here is for love and volunteer work. And the more you can contribute, the more successful the next user will be that comes in. So there's other groups like the Twitter storm groups that we promote constant marketing to other ERC20 communities out there, trying to get people on board. It's all about where are we sending them? Is the funnel successful? And if it's not, because our own experienced users like yourself came through and see something in the pitch that maybe we should do, like you're suggesting the multi-step form, those are the things that we need to hear and then put it into action. So I think that's a great suggestion, and we just need to get more people involved, like more experienced people involved. We'll get the word out faster.
Yeah, it'd be good if Pulse can do like say a Telegram for like brainstorm ideas, security ideas, how to make it more secure, how to make it more welcome to the community, and you know, it's better to have like it's better to instead of having one brain, it's better to have more than one brain. You have multi brains. You know what I mean? Working. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you go to the How to Pulse website, we do have a How to Pulse Telegram group, the Twitter Storm group for all the marketing. There's the Pulse Dev group. There's a couple of groups where you can just fit yourself in and try to contribute as much as possible.
Cool. Yo, check that out.
So if you go to the main chat right now, I just called the combat bot for the Twitter Storm group. You could join that, spit your ideas over there. And if you have any
Is that-
design skills, there's a design group as well that you could contribute. So there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, cool. I mean, what's the end goal of Pulse then? In I know what he wants to do. He wants to create a new blockchain because a lot of people get ripped off with Ether and the expenses and the fees and whatnot like that. I mean, just my friend. I mean, in the past, what was it? I think it's about six months, 7 months. He spent $56,000 on fees. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's incredible. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Obviously, he's got plenty of money, but that's not the point. Still, $56,000 is a lot of money for fees. You know what I mean? So I don't know
Yeah,
how they
it's
figure
like
out that. Go, mate.
I was gonna say it's like the average salary for a normal person, in
That's
America. But
yeah, that's correct. Yeah. But what happens is that anything like sort of like kind of like contactless and wireless, and when it comes to especially money, it's like when you physically, like for example, I was telling someone else, say if you've got like $1,000 in your pocket and you go out and you spend some money and you come back and you check and you got $600, you think to yourself, did I really spend $400? I thought I only spent $100, and you go back and figure out what you spent it on. You know what I mean? But when it comes to this sort of thing, yeah, people don't look at it like that. They don't understand that it's they don't think contemplate in their head that's physical money they're losing or making.
yeah, it's like casino chips, right? That's the
That's the thing. Yeah, it's casino chips. Yeah, and the thing is, what happens is that when people do scam people, like there won't be that many people that will come physically assault you and take money off you, rob you. Yeah, majority of people won't do that. They won't have the balls to do that. But people do that online, thinking that it's a visible money. I mean, it's not hurting anyone. It's not affecting no one. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, true.
Hey, Link, going back to what you said a second ago, is there like a command, like a exclamation point, how to contribute, or something that we can put together that points people to, I mean, as more people come on, they're going to have expertise in design, marketing. There's just people out there that want to contribute, just don't know how or where to go. I mean, is there something like that we can put together for, musicians, artists, graphic designers, developers, marketers, people that just want to go hand out flyers, or is there something like that?
No, right now we just have the Twitter Storm group. There is some design groups in the background. There was some polls going around, but it's like get in where you fit in. And mostly howtopulse.com does take the lead on most of these things. So you could just join the Twitter group. And then from there, we could, kind of come up and brainstorm these ideas together and then execute it. Because as of right now, there's a lot of other community members that are taking the lead as well. You just got to see what they're doing, contact them, see how you could contribute, but there's no official like, here's the roadmap or let's get all the designers in this group. It's like you got to see who's taking the lead, and I would say right now we are, and we could just go from there. Like,
So you're saying go to the How to Pulse Twitter group? Is that what you said?
no, the Twitter Storm group. So I'll call the Combot right now. Actually, it's just like 2 messages up in the main
Yeah, I
chat.
saw that.
Yeah. So 4,100 members in there. And you guys could,
Got it. Okay, it's a
contribute as much
Telegram
as you
group.
want.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So recently we had some really successful Twitter storms, over 1 million impressions. We pump out 40, 50 videos, continuous tweets. So if, copywriters, graphic designers, anybody that can contribute to what we're doing or do it on your own, we kind of built a roadmap for the next person to come in to, make sure that they're doing the right things. So we kind of, if you just skim through our stuff, you could basically find your way and, just reach out to me or Walrus or J
Okay.
Money and kind of
Yeah, because as a
take
creator,
it from there.
like myself, there's a DNA, right, that's attached to the brand, so you don't want to stray too much from that. And so we're like, where do you go for the official assets or the messaging or, I understand what you guys have done is just really kind of been proactive and, you guys kind of did it on your own and that's how we have to do it. But as new people come in and as, when this launches, it's going to be a lot of new people coming in. And as much as I'm involved in this chat and on the Telegram, like it's even hard for me to find places, people or, groups that are doing what you guys are doing. So I'll just, yeah, I'll be on this Twitter Storm group here and I'll check it out for sure.
Awesome.
Hey, Lank, I have a question. Can I shoot?
Sure, go for it. Go for it.
Hey, I've been a part of another project the last 3 years, and I'm talking to the CEO constantly because I've been investing for a while. But he was getting ready to move his ERC20 project over to Solana, and he changed his mind because of all the problems that they're having. So I told him about Pulsechain. He's very interested. So where can I point him to answer all his questions that he has? He has a working product that's been working for the last few years and is doing very well. And he's trying to fix his gas fee situation.
You could point them in this direction, bring them in here. Maybe somebody could help them or whoever's in here at the time. You have the Pulse Dev group, which you can, ask questions there. If he has a existing project,
Yeah.
ERC20, you would just have to build on top of it, look at the specs, right? And just basically direct them to the GitLab repo. So I would say bring them in here first, and then we could kind of assess, or somebody can assess to,
Yeah, I might do that.
basically point them in that direction. Yeah.
I'll just tell him not to mention his project, but just he can come in and answer some of his questions. And if he wants to move to the next level, then he can, do what he needs to do to get the information he needs. But yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. He didn't even know about Pulsechain. I was talking to him, and he was talking about why he's not moving over to this other layer 1 after all. And I said, well, have you heard about this Pulsechain? He didn't even know nothing about it. So he was very excited to learn about it.
that's exciting. That's what we want to do. We want to get projects over here. We want to build other communities to, you know, basically bring everybody over to Pulsechain to, you know, save on gas fees, see projects that are having issues out there on gas and kind of get them to adopt over, or just brand new projects coming out. We want to kind of let them know that there's other options out there, and you know, being that we can be the best option for them, um, that's what we have to pitch over, deliver that message.
This is just all within the last hour, so I'll update you. I'll try to get him in here.
Nice, man.
So, like, I guess in the grand scheme of the whole ecosystem with Pulse Chain, how do we see um, it all coming together um, while coexisting with ETH and ETH 2.0? Do we see most? Do we think most of these other, um, popular projects on Ethereum will be functioning on both chains, or will they just end up migrating completely over to Pulse Chain in the future?
I would say, depending on their current business model and if the gas fees are really affecting their actually bottom line, you know, you could see projects move over, or projects that are absolutely just halted and found other blockchains to launch on, which are multi-chain at some sorts. You could find those projects, make them adopt over, and now they'll be multi-chain adapted. And you know, that's all you can do. You could reach out to the project. So I think, you know, with Pulsechain coming out, it's really going to be which chain is affecting your bottom line, And if you're going to be cross-chain, why not just add your product on Pulsechain as well? So I think it's going to be a very wild ride, and most likely when your bottom line is affected, you do look for other solutions because you did invest money, time, and energy. You built the project already, and since it's an EVM compatible, you have other options out there. So projects that are out there and move to other blockchains as well, we could reach out to them and show them what Pulsechain is about, and maybe they'll make the transition over.
Yeah, is it gonna be easy? I mean, you said they're gonna be or Pulsechain is EVM compatible, and their code and their contract is already going to be on Pulsechain, right? So they don't really have to do much. But in terms of the copied wallets and the coins in those wallets, do you think how will that work for them? I guess because that money needs to come from somewhere, right? For the holders of these copies to like, I guess, extract value from those things if they wanted to sell them instead of just hold them. Like, wouldn't these projects need to like essentially have double the amount of capital? Or will I guess it just be a new chain with different prices?
Yeah, brand new chain with different prices. And it depends on the contract, right? Or project. So you have projects that are just smart contracts, a simple smart contract, what kind of project is that? And then you have entire protocols, like the ENS.domains protocol. So it really depends on what project you're looking at, the size of it, and really is really affecting their bottom line, or they're okay with, those gas fees. So it's kind of one of those pick and choose. Richard says it the best. He's like, when somebody new is entering the crypto market, and since we're having the exact copy of what's on Ethereum, it's best to get Pulsechain out there and have the user say, well, do I want to pay $90 in gas, or do I want to pay 60 cents? So that's for new users coming in, we can pitch those guys to come into our network because it's the same system state. And if the projects are migrating over here to Pulsechain because the fees are cheaper, then it's just all going to be much successful for us. So making sure the marketing is right, the end pitch to the new user, and then of course to the projects that having critical bottom line problems with gas fees. That's how we have to approach it. So there's a pitch for everybody coming in. It's just how do we attack it?
Right. Yeah, I was trying to uh, pitch a buddy on this with Pulsechain launching. He's kind of a newcomer, I guess, but he's done well in this space, but he doesn't want to give up his um, ERC copies, I guess per se. He values the Ethereum copies more than um, the Pulsechain copies. So just trying to figure out a way to change the message um, to get him on board. But he doesn't. I've got to migrate it over to the MetaMask and moving all of his coins on there. But I don't know. I feel like people just value the Ethereum coins. You know, are gonna a lot of people value the Ethereum coins for whatever reason more than they value the Pulsechain coins that are, have the same ticker, same contract or code, and everything. But
Well, Ethereum's been around for a long time, so of course there's value there, and Pulsechain's not even out yet, so we don't even know what value it is there yet. So it's hard to speculate.
right, right, yeah. And I think a lot of people are confused because when you tell them about that they're getting a copy of their wallets, they're thinking that, I've got $100,000 in my Ethereum MetaMask worth of value. So on Pulsechain, I'll get a double up. So I'll have $100,000 worth of value on, Pulsechain as well. So that combined makes $200,000 worth of value. Um, and I think a lot of people are getting caught up and confused there because I was trying to explain to my buddy that as well. And he's like, well, then it's not really, um, he's thinking more along the lines like it's gonna be the same coins. Like you sell one coin on I sell, one of my coins on Pulse Chain, then I lose one of my tokens through my Ethereum side wallet, but I'm selling it for less money if I sell it through Pulse Chain. But he's thinking the tokens are tied together somehow. And that if you sell one, you sell the other one, you lose the other one as well. So he's like, why would I sell my coins on Pulse Chain for less if it's not at price parity versus Ethereum? Say it's 10 cents on Pulse Chain and it's a dollar on Ethereum. If I sell it for 10 cents on Pulse Chain, I lose, 90 cents there by selling it on Pulse Chain. But from my understanding, that's not how it's working or will work because they're two separate chains. But yeah, I think most people are confused there though. Well, not most, but a lot of people that I've mentioned and I talk about copies. I don't know, but when you say the word copy, people just think they're getting like a double of their funds, which is like I don't know how to re-explain that, to people so that they um, visualize it better. But I guess you could visualize it. I think Richard Hart said like how Bitcoin had a fork and then you had Bitcoin Cash. Or sorry, I don't want to like use names or anything, but like they're supposed to be the same coins essentially, but they had different values, right? And one was airdrop for free, but it didn't have the exact equal price, but it had the same like supply and everything. Um, just, just looking for ways to market it. So another thing, like multi-chain um, is like the future for crypto and blockchains. Like, um, what are ways that are being like thought of to keep users from staying within, certain ecosystems? Like, what what's to stop? Um, how do we keep people within the Pulse chain ecosystem? You know, versus going out and using other um, blockchains that are potentially cheap in fast transactions.
I would say first we got to get them there. Then we got to devise a good marketing plan. And, like Richard says, 100% uptime. He has the best products out there. He wants to build the best. So we just have to use that to our advantage. Coming out with a strong, well made product at the end of the day is the easiest to market. So, the best thing to also learn, to answer your other question, I had to take a call, but I heard some of it, is that, you're looking for things to market Pulsechain. The best way to market it is to study the product, go use it, and then you could actually run through a great, easy pitch, is because you use the product already. You know how it works, you know the advantages. And if say for instance, like you are pitching it to a friend that, has been on Ethereum for a long time, see what kind of projects he's into, and then say, well, okay, so go check the testnet right now. You'll have a copy, and go use it and see what you think. And it's really, it's not going to be a copy that's going to be valuable right away, but it's a fork of Ethereum. It's a great project, and it just takes time to have price appreciation and value come into the network. So if for instance he wants to use the copy later on in the future and extract value from it, if it's popular, if there's liquidity behind it, then it's just a win-win. Now, if the project that moves over for the Pulse chain, then it's a real win-win, because a lot of people are going to save on gas, save on transaction fees. So there's a lot of benefits to Pulse chain in general, that when you have a project that is well built and looking to become strong in just the blockchain industry itself, like it's just not a regular ERC20 smart contract, it's an actual chain. So when you're competing at that level, you want to be able to compete and have the best product to market, because it's the easiest. So once it comes out and it's working and everybody's using it, that would be the time to tell and study it even more, and then you'll have the marketing material behind it to learn how to market it to the next person. But the best thing to do is to use it so that you could talk about it in confidence, and then it would be easy to pitch to the next user. You're not trying to have anybody from the Ethereum network like sell everything. You just want to, pitch them an alternative or addition to, right? So it's always good to have options. And, being that if you're somebody that's in the ecosystem and you know where to send users to get the right information. Like this voice chat is 24/7. So it's best for them to come here, educate yourself, spend time. If it's not for you, move along. If it's for you, then spend more time, get educated even more, and then you could, basically get widespread adoption that way. So first things first is get educated. And then second thing is use it yourself. And then third thing, come up with a quick marketing, or come back here. And there's many of people here that are smart that could go over some marketing tactics, and there's people in the community doing a lot of things for for that support to be there. So that's what I would say.
Okay, great. Yeah. Another point I wanted to bring up was that realizing that a lot of these ch- um, chains, these successful blockchains, had some successful thing occur on them. Like, um, I think Solana has like gaming, right? That's a big deal on that, and um, Ethereum has the NFTs, and then metaverse on like Avalanche is supposed to be big. So it's like it seems like all these have something to attract all these user to it. Um, they're innovating in some way in blockchains, and I feel like early on, do you think that the PulseX, having the world's largest decentralized exchange, um, the most liquid exchange, that's going to be the advantage that the major advantage in the beginning that Pulsechain will have to bring over a lot of users to come over like and do like you know farming and staking, um, per se.
Well, yeah, the other chains that you mentioned, they go down every 45 minutes. So, those users, you don't see them, but they're probably looking for other options, right? And if their other option is just to pay a premium on Ethereum, then that's where they're going. So being that we can be the next option is just more beneficial for us in the community. So just having that in your barrel to spit out there and go out there and promote to the next end user, is that once the chain comes out and it's flawless, we'll have that power to then go out there and say, why would you farm on this chain when you have this one? So we have to wait for those options to become available. But yeah, those other chains that you mentioned, like you can't rely on them. They're just not beneficial for the end user. They got there first, right? Because they launched, they were successful in the beginning, but a lot of people are having problems now with them, and they're exploring other options. You just don't see the data because it's very micro and it's hard to find. But people are exploring options every day. People are building every day, and if there's a cheaper chain with better fees and it's the most liquid, that's where people are going to put their money. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Thanks for that.
Well, and let's not underestimate the largest airdrop in history. It's like if you're walking down the street and some guy's handing out a bunch of cash, and every day you walk past him, he's handing out money. You're going to stick around. You're going to find out what's going on with this guy. Where's he getting it? You're not just going to take the money and run and say, "Oh, that was awesome." Like, we're giving people a bunch of money, free money, and it's not just a token that we're promoting, using to promote our own platform. It's just a huge airdrop, the largest in history. So I think that's initially going to be the draw. That keeping them there, it's going to be tokenomics, the attractive staking, schemes that we have with PulseX and with the validators, and then the fees and things that keep people trading on the platform. But I think the big obvious one for me is the largest airdrop in history.
Yeah, that's very sexy in marketing. The biggest airdrop in history goes a long way. People love airdrops. It's a key word. Once they find out what Pulsechain is about and what the mission is, and that what we're aiming to do, that's really it's going to be a large influx of people in the first 6 months. That's why you got to sit tight. It takes time to get out there in the ecosystem, to get projects out there and actually full blockchains, to even get on the front page of something like a Forbes, so don't rush, I would say, stick around, wait for value to come into the network, and you can gauge that yourself. And then, just onboard people. Those airdrops are always going to be in those wallets for them to claim, not claim, but to see. And that's going to be a huge advantage for people going a long way just on the marketing forefront as a quick one-liner, right? So that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a great point. And with the largest airdrop, man, it's tough because it's like how can that, like, well, I guess again, but like when you associate the airdrops, should you associate it with the money aspect of it? Because um like I argue with a buddy about this all the time. Like, hey, look, you're gonna get an airdrop. You got $250,000 worth of crypto. Like, enjoy your free copies. Maybe you come over to Pulsechain and you know mess around in the ecosystem. He's like, well, like like I was saying in the argument, like you're getting an airdrop, but like, what is it gonna be worth, right? You can have like $100,000. You're not gonna get a double up. So like, but either way, it's still free money. And I guess the only concern I would have there is like, uh, I mean, like, see or maybe your guys' coin track. Sorry, I think it cut out. Oh, hello? I don't know.
Your mic is wrecked for me. I don't know if it's my phone or yours, but I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, you're a little low, but I
Yeah.
can hear you.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I have to reconnect. Oh, hello.
Better. Way better.
Oh, awesome. Thanks.
The one thing I
So,
was going to say, Charlie Grade, just real quick before you finish up, was the critic's position is always the easiest one to take, right? And these are good questions that I get as well. But you look at the amount sacrificed, you point to the amount of wallets that sacrificed. You talk about what Hex did and how Hex performed. And and the whole thing is like, well, look, you're going to have free money. You're going to have duplicates over on Pulsechain. You already have this community of, over 100,000 people who are super committed. A lot of these people experienced the 10,000x over with Hex. So it's free money. How can you hate on free money? Whether it's a point 0.005 or not, it's you can't really hate on that. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I totally agree. But you know, what you can pull out of those liquidity pools is gonna someone's gonna have to, set the liquidity pools. And do you think that these exchanges who will be getting this airdropped um, money is going to be holding or selling, or what do you think they'll end up doing? You think they'll give it to their on their platforms?
I think crypto is a lot like anything else. Everybody has their own strategy. Got guys on this chat that come from the traditional finance, trading, Wall Street. You got people that their first investment was crypto, and you've got a lot of hexicans that are real loyal and just hold, and never sell any Richard Hart products. Then you got people that are going to swap one Richard Hart product for another. So I think it's just, yeah, there's going to be people that see their tokens here, they're going to sell them, but they're going to check back and they're going to see maybe some gains that they missed out on, or they're going to see that Pulse is mooning or PulseX is mooning, or that you can single side stake it. They're going to come over and learn about some of these things that you can do with it. And if history is a guide, you can look at layer ones, layer twos, you can see how they performed in the first year or two. There's a lot of information that's posted in the main chat or that's callable in the main chat that you can use in these discussions so that you don't get stumped and you don't feel like you don't have the answers to some of these questions, because I've been there and it's frustrating because look, we don't have a crystal ball, and neither do these guys that you're talking to. In fact, their portfolios are down year over year. I can almost guarantee that. So, there's all these things where, yeah, they may be coming from a place of, expertise, or, oh, that's not going to work. And I've had full blown combative kind of aggressive arguments with family members about this that have been in crypto for a long time. And they're just, Bitcoin maxis or whatever it is. And it's just like, okay, fine. Just don't do it. You don't want 500x or 1000x. You don't want the opportunity to get in early. Bitcoin's not early. You're not early. It goes to $1 million. You're still not early. So that's fine. Hold it and store it and buy silver and buy gold, and don't get in early on anything if that's the case. But there's an opportunity here that comes around, very seldomly, that has a huge, strong community, over $1 billion sacrificed. you know, 2 sacrifices now. I mean, it's look. There's just some people that are gonna. There's people that say, you know, that make it happen, and there's people that say, what the hell just happened? You know, and we're in the former group of people that are trying to be a part of something huge, because we know not only is the community probably the most, you know, definitely one of the most talented, you know, educated, you know, community of experts in crypto, but that Richard Hart has a history of successful products. You know, he's building an ecosystem. This isn't his last thing. There's more vertical integration with wallets and maybe stable coins in the future. So it's a good bet. I mean, this is what everybody's doing here, is betting. Nobody has an answer to what's going to go up or down. You know, and like I said, these guys you're talking to, they're down year over year. I can almost guarantee it. So why not?
Yeah, definitely. It's hard not to be. Yeah, they're definitely down. Yeah, and some of them are taking a second look at Richard and his projects and his background. I caught one of my buddies in a stream, the last stream with the Eric Wall debate. So they're definitely out there. Um, I've heard rumors that Pulsechain would be listed on an exchange. I think early on. Do you think that um, is going to be a good thing for Pulsechain in terms of adoption, um, or if that will like maybe slow adoption or hurt price performance?
Well, what I've seen with that and other tokens in the past is, you know, a day before the announcement, price runs up and they announce it, and the price continues to run up a little bit. And then the moment it launches, people are just selling off, right? Because they had insider information. You know, they bought it, it skyrocketed. Now they're selling it for 2, 3, 4, 5x or something. And then it kind of settles in at its price, and then it takes a while to see see another spike. But with your question in terms of adoption, I think anything that brings people to the platform is a win, because it's not just another platform. right? If they were to go on and happen to notice something like single-sided staking, or where the price is, and um, some of the pumpamentals, as Richard says, that are that are there with these two coins, I think there's going to be a majority of the people that are going to look at that and say, maybe I'll stick around, or maybe I'll swap some of these airdrops for Pulse or PulseX. And if they check back and they're making money, and they're selling, I think any action is good action. And I think I'm not a fan of centralized exchanges or exchanges in general, because they've treated the community so poorly. But I think to your question, I think yes, I think it's good for adoption.
Right. So you just want to I believe that just any engagement with uh, post chain or the ecosystem. Think about with exchanges though, they wouldn't be able to like use the staking features, right? On exchanges, like they will just be, buying and selling the ticker symbol. Um, they would have to like
Right.
move those coins onto like a personal wallet, that's not on exchange, to be able to interact with the dexes or any of these um, projects that are on Pulse Chain with their tokens, right?
Yeah, my thinking is that it'll generate enough awareness that so that people, if they're savvy enough to interact with Pulse Chain or PulseX, they'll eventually end up on the DEX. They'll eventually get wind of some of the features over on Pulse Chain, on PulseX. And so I think it's a marketing play, right? It's again, it's a captive audience who's already involved in crypto, where you're not fighting all of these other barriers to entry with non-crypto investors who don't know what a wallet is, right? You're dealing with people that know the ins and outs and how to move things around and are familiar with exchanges, and it's a lot easier to get engagement that way than talking to your relative who has no idea what crypto is at all, and onboarding and all that stuff. So
Those centralized exchanges could participate in some of those activities as well.
Do you think they could like build a front end, I guess, for users to um, interact with the protocols on Pulse Chain through their um, exchanges?
No, I doubt they would do that, but they could with the coins they hold personally.
Oh, in terms of like farming and yielding and staking. That wouldn't be great. So that would you that'd be assuming that then the exchanges won't be wait with the Pulse X and Pulse chain coins, or just like all the airdrop tokens.
Any of it, if they wanted to. You can set up different rules from a centralized exchange. So, for example, if they had wanted to use like PulseX, they could just use the PulseX that's in that they hold in their actual wallets. That's essentially all the user's money, and you just put a delay or you keep a fraction of it around for actual deposit and removal. There's a lot of different ways they could basically maintain some type of reserve that they could allow, because most of the transactions occur on the platform. They don't actually have it. All they do is move it from your another Reddit account, doesn't actually move on chain. So they could keep a reserve of those things ready for, basically deposits or removals off platform, or if they needed to cash it out to make a fiat exchange, things like that. But they could still participate in a lot of these DeFi protocols if they chose to.
And so, do you know if exchanges have already done that in the past, and how that you know um, how that how well that ends up for the, I guess, the chains that they do that for, right? I mean, I guess
Yeah, I
if they're
mean, there's
doing
different ones. Binance has held different assets. A lot of the different platforms will hold it and use Celsius as a way to return yield on stables and things like that. I mean, it's participation like anything else. You want to be careful because you can have like huge interests that just end up being sort of um, parasitic on the rest of the chain. But again, people tend to protect things that make them money. So it doesn't mean that they'll always act in our best interest. But if they have a large stake and, you know, say they were single-sided staking or participating in PulseX and holding a lot of it, well, you would like the things you own to go up highly, right? So it doesn't always mean that they'll play nice, but typically they'll play nicer than people think.
I'm thinking of them more as a parasite than the latter.
So these things, you know, they also don't sort of happen in isolation. So this is a goofy example. Obviously, there's a lot more going on. But if someone decides they want to eat up all the yield in the hex system, to do so, they would have to purchase the hex up and then not sell it to retrieve the yield, right? So for in a similar example, if someone's holding a ton of PulseX and taking a lot of advantage of the single-sided staking, that also means that they're holding that PulseX and not selling it, which means that they want to continue that yield, they have to give the opportunity cost up to sell, which is holding your price up.
Yeah. Okay. A great point.
And again, you know, the things you're saying are correct also. I'm just trying to kind of paint a wholeness perspective that, you know, a lot of these things aren't just, you know, negative or positive. They're going to have pros and cons. Now, plenty of things are so weighted one side or the other that they're sort of no brainers. But there's, you know, again, with any of these things, especially when it comes to, you know, big complex financial systems, there's a lot of cogs in that machine.
Yeah, definitely. Um, do you expect? Well, there's probably going to be a lot of single-sided staking. Is there going to be? Do you know? Forgot. I remember someone. I think you spoke about it before, Walrus. That there won't be a cap on like the single-sided staking, like on the testnet. How it was like 10 million tokens. I think it was the cap for that. But someone, I think it was you who said that there wouldn't be a limit, but I could be wrong.
It'll be up to the sponsors on the pool. So someone could say they don't care if there's a limit. Some of them could suggest a limit as part of their proposal. So it'll be up to the sponsors of the pool. There won't just be like a standard one in PulseX. It'll be up to the pools.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Lorraine, do you have a question? Oh, she dropped out.
Oh, and since you're here, followers. Do you know? So, like, say pre-bridge, the ratio for Pulse and PulseX is like 2 to 1. Does that mean that when the bridges go live, the prices will also be at a 2 to 1 ratio?
Whatever the ratio is of a given asset on Pulsechain to Pulse will be how that actual US dollar value is priced up until there's other pools made. So if just again in that example there, by the time the bridge goes live and there's a pool of either USDC, bridged in USDC or bridged in ETH with Pulse, if Pulse is $1 and it's 2 to 1, then PulseX is 50 cents until there's another pool made, and then you could have some different things going on. But essentially, to the answer your question is yes.
Okay, yeah, I was getting that's where I was getting a little confused on. I was wondering because I was asking a guy earlier about that, but yeah, thanks for clearing that up. Because
Hello?
Yes, do you have a question?
Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes. Can
Oh, hi.
anybody else hear?
Oh, hi. Uh, uh, I've got a question for Walrus. Can you please check your DM because you've helped me before regarding my stakes, and I'm really stuck right now.
Yes, ma'am. I'm traveling, but I can look at them later.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Lank. So when do you think we're going to launch? Just kidding.
When it's done, it's done.
All the old.
Lorian, we're getting some feedback from you. Mute your mic, please.
Oh, hi. I'm still waiting for Mr. Walrus because uh, I spoke to Papa last time and he referred me to Mr. Walrus. So I DM'd him and he responded. So I DM'd him again. So I'm still waiting for a response. So I don't know whether he's checking his DM or not.
Yeah, he's a little bit busy right now, I would say. He'll get back to you later. I think that's what he mentioned. But
Oh,
maybe
Yeah,
we could help you.
he's driving.
all right. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Do you want to
Yeah,
ask
you
the
could
question
ask.
here?
Yeah, ask it in here.
I, w- I was scammed. I spoke to Papa, I think about 2 months ago. And now the scammers, um, I'm trying to end a stake. I did stake some hex. And that same MetaMask wallet is where that stake will end up going into. So this is my concern that if I end that stake already, it's telling me that it's detecting another address, which is not my address. So that's where I've got a
Okay.
query.
Okay, I know what you're inquiring about. Just wait for Walrus, and
All
make
right.
sure only Walrus texts you back.
All right. Lovely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
So it's like, is cheers short for like Cheerio, or is it cheers like I'm cheering for a soccer team, or is it cheers clicking glasses?
Cheers, clicking glasses.
Nice.
Well, then what does Cheerio mean?
Bye bye.
Well, that clears it up.
And what is mate? Is that like a mate for life, or is it just a friend?
Just a friend, a pal.
What about spotted dick? Where'd that come from?
It's a dessert.
Oh, okay.
Did you say spotted dick? That's a stupid one.
That's a dessert, H-man. Not to be confused with an actual spotted dick.
Or is it like I spotted Richard?
That would
What
be
about
called
the
spotted Red Bull.
Google great tits? Why is that a bird?
Why were you Googling great tits?
I saw it on a program. I think it was Blacklist or something. Or no, something on cable.
But it's usually singular. Tit.
Yeah, I just Googled it. Now I've got a bunch of malware. Thanks, Rhythmic.
Should know better. What about a windy haboob? We get haboobs
Oh,
down here in
leave the S off.
Phoenix. What?
Leave the S off. It's a great tit.
Yeah, no thanks. Just one tit.
They're usually colored tits, like a green tit or whatever.
Isn't there like a word if you're really sick or hungover in Europe, like green, a greenie, something?
Don't know that one.
I spotted Dick. I spotted Dick. No, it was just Richard at the mall.
Remorph, you there?
So I'm trying to short Hex, and why isn't it working? It wants to go up.
With leverage.
No, I just sold it at, what did I do? Yeah, 7.8. And it ripped yesterday, and then it boom up to 8.5. I'm like, oh my god! And now it's trying to. I don't know what it's doing. I'm gonna wait another 24. But by then it'll be fucking copied, and I'll miss the copy. All right.
Quiet today, huh? Nothing new to talk about? Same old, same old?
Just muted is all. Thank you.
'84. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering. I'm about to make a stake. I was just wondering if if there's any advantage to doing it through HEXradio. I've not done that before.
That all depends on what you're comparing it to. Do you have MetaMask or you have a hardware wallet?
I've got a hardware wallet, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're staking from a hardware wallet, that's pretty secure. The advantages of using Staker is it's a noceless safe on the back end, and the wallet you get is the signatory wallet to that safe. But there's a couple features where you can do multiple stakes in one go with like one gas fee, a couple things like that. But the generic use of it is also to add your own public address that it'll monitor your existing stakes as well. So there's a few features there.
Oh, nice. And it pays out the same. It's just got some better features then. Is that the case?
Yeah, you can also use HEX, USDC, or Ethereum for the gas fee. You don't have to have ETH in your wallet for that. Like you could use a few HEX would cover the gas fee or whatever, a couple hundred or whatever that fee is.
Oh, sweet. All right, I'm gonna give that a try then. Thanks, man. Cheers.
Yep. If you just download the app, you're in the free version. You can monitor your existing stakes on other wallets. But if you pay, I think it's 0.003 ETH or something like that, you can. They'll send you seed words and a public address, just like it's another wallet.
Sweet, man. Awesome. I'll be back if I got any questions. Much appreciated.
Yep, no problem.